Yo guys, welcome back to another YouTube live stream. It's me, mrjayowhy. Hope you're having a awesome day. How are we doing? It's the weekend. Let's go, chat. Right, so big news today. The Sprites are staying. I mean, I felt like it was pretty obvious at this point. And they could be staying forever at this rate. Forever, chat. You won't be able to move in 2026 and 2027 without running into a Sprite, right? You do know that's going to happen. Rapid, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. How are we doing today? Jay, I always had a thought. Is home reality on Oshima? Well, it's no, it's chapter 5, right? Hello, Painter. How's it going? Yeah, have you got every Sprite I need yet? What do you mean? What do you mean? Because when 0 hour ended, she says this feels more at home. Well, it's probably because of Kendo, right? And stuff like that. Maybe. I haven't really looked into it for a while. Well, that's a good start. Yay, Fortnite, let's go. Right, crashed for whatever reason. Maybe can't handle the Sprites being in forever. I need 21, including all the gems, and cube, and hollow with 0 point, and all the grims except normal and gold peely. You don't have any cube sprites. Mega City came from Oshima, I think. I think so. I honestly think they changed that. BT, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. All right, I'm still trying to set up the stream. They're in next season as well. Like the same concept as this season. Well, it depends what you mean by concept, right? Will the Sprites be in BR? Yes. Will it be the main sort of thing? Mechanic? Probably not. Will it be an additional mode? Yes. Miss J, what do you think about the Dark Voyager ship going to save the world earlier this year? Well, apparently it was Fortnite said right place, wrong time, so they need to go back at some point. Yeah, but the Sprites we have this season will be vaulted, and new ones will be added, but not as many, I don't think. I just want the Sprites to be psychics, and I can't wait for next season since it's my most wanted theme. Fair enough. Yes, Gaming Legends season is going to be pretty cool. I hope Sprites never return, and not only because so I can have a life. I've spent too much time in this game. Fair enough, even. Clark Clint made a theory about it on why the Dark Harvester made its way. What did he say? Did you watch Clark's video today about the storyline? I don't know if I did. I think I watched some parts of it. It's like a 44-minute video, isn't it? So we catch the bones of the video, I suppose. I don't know if I can react to the whole video. I don't know if I'm about that life. It's all about how how Save the World is part of the simulation we're in. He even shouted you out in the video. Fair enough. I mean, Fortnite is a simulation in terms of the loot, but I wouldn't say, well, I wouldn't say it's like a game, even though next season could be very much like that, right? Like, reality simulated in the sense that we are in a loop trying to stay alive. But if it's fake, and that's a whole different argument. The whole point of being a theorist is being wrong most of the time. If you're right, I'd be worried, right? I'd be worried if you're right too many times. I would be concerned. Right, and what was I doing? Not doing that. Move that over here. So it's out of my way, and then that. I say, you know, he's about to cook, right? He's got that face. He's okay, guys.
So the theme for Fortnite Season 4 has been teased to be Override. And it's got on the poster that
I mean, I wouldn't say that's a theme. Oh, no, actually, unless you're like French or German, I think, which is system hack and hacking. So that is the theme. Overriding is still a theme, right? You're overriding, you're hacking, essentially.
It's got like all these little glitchy like details on the side. This is important because throughout all of Fortnite's history, the glitches have been kind of just a part of the game. Whether it be you interacting with an NPC or within certain live events that we've had, the glitches are always a representation of a distortion in reality. I was looking at my boy, mrjayowhy, earlier today, and he thinks that the glitches that we're seeing on the teaser and the theme Override are going to be reality distorting, but he believes the reality is going to distort to a point where the maps actually might cycle. Because you look at the tag.
That's one of my theories. I feel like he's locked into that one a bit too much. My thing was, I think, so my actual theory was the reality. Well, I did say that, but my more point was the reality waves, right, have been over the island and sort of doing absolutely nothing when we know they can open pure portals to other realities. They've done absolutely nothing. I thought this last season, going into this season, or maybe not. When did we hear about the Simpsons collab? There was like a teaser for the Simpsons reload map, and John Wick was looking at a rift, and I thought, oh, they've got reality portals and they've got reality waves. Just plop one of them down onto the map and open a reality portal. That makes most. They just don't let them randomly floating. Now my idea with whatever Geno or Sloan tries to do to stabilize the 0 point, I reckon them reality waves might be reality changing. So if you look back at the Chapter 2 Season 6 event, and John Jones goes, reality can change in an instant, and it shockwaves, and he turns into a butterfly, and he shocks wave again, it changes the map. To be fair, that's probably where he's taking it from, right? So maybe some areas, I'm talking not map cycling theory, that could be a part of it, but like little pockets of the island will completely just change in a blink of an eye. That's what I was saying.
Line for Override, right? It says, break the rules, change the game. Jay is looking at that from the standpoint of like, oh, maybe the game will literally change every few minutes. I
didn't kind of say that. Maybe I did. What I was saying, there'd be a specific element of the game where you could change a game, right? Where you would have a where reboot reality. I reckon there'd be new reboots that will have nothing to do with the reboot van, right? That you will place down, and then it will change a dynamic to a game for a number of minutes for the entirety of the game or something, right? Yes, there's obviously a law standpoint as to why the glitching happens, but it's got to somehow work in a game mechanic, or then it just is boring, right? So that's what I think. The reality waves. So basically, what I'm saying, either that, right? So you place one of these reboots down, and it will just change a POI, a certain place, like a rift beacon. So think of Chapter 2, Season 6, where reality changes in the blink of an eye, and a few things changes. Think of the rift beacon zones in Season X, which we're heading to that season as well. I still think that's where the reality waves will come in. If they want to combine Season X and Chapter, I'm not recording this, and if you want to combine Season X and Chapter 7's event, or do the stuff in Season X, I think the rift beacon zones should translate into whatever we see through them reality waves. They can't just be there doing nothing and they just haven't written them into anything. Well, I think that's just boring. But at the moment, they've done absolutely nothing. Apart from just look cool. So that's what I'm saying is, all reality wave will crash down, and at that point, glitches wherever it is, and then changes the game element there, right? Like in that zone, you have a hot rock thing or something like that. Boom, boom, you know. Do you think COD is doing something similar right now? They've stolen that from me.
Like that. I think that there's a good chance that that might be the case. Jay's saying that like there might be a different map, like we might be able to go to different maps because the 0 point of reality is glitching out because Geno now has control over the 0 point, or he should. We're assuming that he should by the end of the season. But I want to take it a step further. Okay, I think it might be the case that not only do we experience a different map, I think Fortnite might actually, for the first time, cycle through some of their old maps. There was a theory that I made years ago. I think this was all the way back in Fortnite Chapter 3, maybe even Chapter 4, where I was saying that there could be some kind of reality distortion where Fortnite cycles through every single one of its previous maps.
I said again, the reason why I think it needs to be on a small scale is I'm also thinking about the devs. So changing a POI and having two POIs sit on top of each other, I'm sure I've chatted to some devs before in terms of creative, right? They can sit in pockets, right, and be active when they need to be active. And that's very easy to do. Changing the whole map is very difficult, right?
I, for one, would like to
and
go back
and be playable, right? You can do that in an
Chapter
event
2
because you don't have to make it
Season
playable.
7 or 8 map. I would like to go back and experience like the OG map a little bit. I want to go and experience the Chapter 3 map and the Chapter 4 map and the Chapter 5 map, so on, right? It would be cool if Fortnite incorporates the map cycle, just like how we have in Reload. It would be cool if they incorporated that into the storytelling of the game, which I could see. That's one possibility, right?
I still think that's doable if OG ends after this season, and then they can throw whatever season and make it. But seasons will have to be a lot longer, right? You could only probably do that 4 months, 4 times a year, right? Realistically, or you have 2 in rotation at a time, right? So, for example, after OG ends, it combines with Chapter 7. Something crazy happens. We move on, but then they go, okay, we're gonna do from this moment on. If they decide to do Chapter 2, they decide to do Chapter 2, right? But okay, so we are doing random seasons, so they're probably going to give it a name. What reality reboots? So we're going to do this new game mode called Reality Reboots, right? Where every season we will select a map, a season, and we will play out that season. If it connects to lore, I have no idea. But for example, so we could go from Season X, right, in OG, next season, can be Chapter 4, Season 1. And you play that out for 4 months, and then you go, okay, we go to Chapter 5, Season 1. And then do it like that, rather than doing this whole OG thing. Because as much as Chapter 1's been cool and the events changing, we are at this point going, oh my God, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, this is still 2 years of to play that through for whatever reason, right? And it just makes it easier. And they surprise us by skipping years and or doing something there, right? So something like that. So suppose
But here's the thing. As cool as that is, I think that's the lower level understanding of what Override is going to be and what it's implying. I actually think that there's a bigger storyline significance to what Override means. The beginning of this,
Indeed, of course. But then you need to build the mechanic first, which they've done every single season, right? The mechanic is the cause, and the storyline is the effect. Rivals pause storyline. Ice King winning, Foundation team losing. I mean, yeah, they both lost really, but that's the well, actually no, if the effect didn't cause, I don't know if I got that wrong way around, but you know what I mean, right? Season 3, Sprites are the mechanic, are the cause, and whatever happens at this event will be the effect. So you still have to be clear on the game mechanic, on the core mechanic being highly storyline related. Or no, as we've learned this season, maybe people don't actually like that.
chapter, we had, what was it? An image of like a last reality message that came to us where it implied that we were in some kind of simulation. This entire chapter, we've been talking about that. We've been seeing like little hints of things that just don't really add up. Like Hope's vision disappeared and now they come back, and now the visions are the reason why Geno is revealed.
Damn it! If he watches my video, he would know actually. So my theory with the Hope thing, right, of her not getting her visions, I think someone actually said in chat, I thought it was something Geno or the Dark Voyager did, and then someone said, "Oh, what about the big dark harvester fly through the sky? Couldn't that have messed up with Hope's visions?" And I went, you know what? I guess so. That could have worked out, and then maybe there was an over effect, obviously, but obviously, once a 0 point refused, and that energy was created because of the Dark Harvester. The Dark Harvester got destroyed, but also the 0 point came close together. At that point, we get these ethereal voices that we can hear, and you hear Geno in that event laugh. One of the first visions that Hope gets back is hearing the monster laughing or whatever, the Shaper's Man or whatever she says. So it's almost like we were there and heard that vision and heard that laugh ourselves when the 0 point was obviously at its most powerful it's been for the last 4 years. So that's why I think Hope's visions returned. It's a bit more of a harder to work out why her visions left. Maybe there was too many shards in one place and there was interference. The Dark Voyager's ship, the Dark Harvester, could have been playing interference. There's a multitude of reasons as to that. So that's why I think, because of the 0 point going back together, that's why Hope's got her visions, right? Because we hear voices, we hear her laugh, and she even mentions that in her visions. Oh no, I said that in one of my videos, and someone said, "No, you're taking that too far."
To be the shapeless man, and that's what Blue is cover. Everything like that we've been experiencing this chapter just feels a little weird to me, and I honestly think that
No, he's valid about that, to be fair. I do think they've gone a little bit too quickly. I still think this could have been played over a couple of more seasons, maybe even to the end of the chapter, and then made a reveal. But I still feel like there's stuff like the Season X event and stuff like that where there needs to be a 7 in the OGs in the past, which obviously by everything else we've seen OG doesn't seem to be the case. But maybe it is Pocket Dimension. I don't know at this point. I guess we're going to find out in another 2 or 3 months. Yeah. But in terms of how they worked out, it was like I kind of made little sense, but it's like, oh, Shapeless Man laughing or something. It's Geno, and then made a correlation to visitors to be Geno is quite a jump. But then Sloane says in another voice line, "We suspect this," and then our suspicions must be true, and that Geno must be the visitor. So it's sort of stumbled into it because of obviously Hope's visions and started to see the visitor connected to the Last Reality logo with the Iowa logo or something. I kind of get that, but you got to be careful. Hope's visions have never really been completely, honestly clear, and even when we found out what they actually meant, they were not completely they still had a lot of it to interpret, right? But for some reason, this was clear as day. This is like her big, with the 0 point together. This is her biggest sort of thing. But there's still room of what am I trying to say? It's still like most visions are not what they say they are, right? They're most of the time in most franchises, in most films, most TV shows, they're highly deceptive. So even if the visitor took off his mask and it was a mysterious face and they didn't give it, maybe that's because he's being deceptive, not in just that he's lying, not that he's lying that he's Geno. You still shouldn't do a knee-jerk reaction to go, oh, it must be, yeah, that makes sense. I still think they maybe bulldoze through this part of the story a little bit too quickly. But that's my opinion.
What this season is ultimately going to culminate to or build up to is the reveal of what this simulation exactly is. And what we're trying to do right now is we're trying to override the system. We're trying to, in essence, break out of the matrix.
That's also what I made in my video, because everyone presuming hacking is the bad guys hacking. That's another thing that everyone's been presuming a lot more than, oh, maybe it's us. So back to my whole reboot reality sort of pads where you put them down and you change the game and you're changing the game. Yes, you're the ones actually hacking. And so yes, you're the ones actually doing the hacking, which I don't think many people have been talking about. Any theories I've heard is mostly saying the bad guys are hacking, which they might be, right? Some bad guy might be hacking, but I think the gameplay mechanic and Ree might also be trying to hack back, right? But yeah, most people are presuming that's a bad guy hacking. So good point from Clark here as well, right?
I think at the end of season 4, there's going to be some insane plot twist. This should be, I think this is like the last major season we're having this chapter before we have like a mini season. I don't think we're getting to season 5. I think we're going from season 4 to a mini season. I think this is what I think might be the case.
It was this mini season. I think we are getting mini season. I can't remember what the whole leak was about a few months ago. Is it after or before the end event? I can't remember. I can't recall even any of the information was now. Completely gone from my brain. But yeah, we have August, end of August, September, October, November. It's a short season. If there is a mini season going between that, right?
I think we're going to have a big live event at the end of season 4. It's going to reveal what the simulation is. Maybe we've been inside of a last reality spaceship for the last 3 or 4 chapters. Who knows?
Oh, I hope it's not. So I don't know what you call this, but obviously I've seen a lot of talk about and you know what? I'm not gonna what's the word? I'm not going to diminish what Restro's saying because he's obviously a lot more smarter than what I am, right? But he's saying that he doesn't believe the Geno we see to be the real Geno. And I was another subject, not what he was saying, but what my chat's been saying, the same thing about, oh, it's actually the Aegis. I didn't see it until I stumbled across something else, and I can see why you think that a lot more with the Shapeless Man's drawing on the thing and over the good POI next season when the Sinister Strip changes. I'm like, okay, yeah, so he could have sent fake Geno Aegis into. I sort of got it, but at the same point, I don't think you got to understand story logic. You can't keep doing crazy turns and crazy pivots, and it devalues the Geno reveal if you end up making him not Geno. And you got to be careful with that. So you can only have so many turns and pivots and surprises and shocks. Like, yeah, the story will have shock moments, but you can't have like, oh, Hope was actually a bad guy. Also, Sloan was actually a bad guy, and actually Singularity was also a bad guy. And actually, Singularity wasn't Singularity; it was actually Valair. You got to get to the point where it just gets stupid, and the audience just goes, "What? You mean that it wasn't Geno? It was the Aegis?"
But after we exit the simulation into whatever the real reality is, let's say we're inside the last reality spaceship, that's what the mini season is going to be. Maybe it's
But the whole thing about I do like the concept of being in the last reality cube and actually like the Matrix, because what you also have to understand is when Donald Mustard had the story, yeah, I realized this a good while ago. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot that Donald Mustard was in The Matrix. Okay. He was in that film, wasn't he? And he was saying something, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I was like, doing a video about, I don't know what I was doing a video about. And I was like, oh, yeah, but, um, and then I was talking about the Chrome. I was going, yeah, obviously the Chrome took the 7 and then probably took them to the last reality ship. Oh, I think it was the res particle video. That was it. I was like, okay, so maybe Chrome um, does like a similar thing to like breaking down res particles and moving them through space and time to somewhere, and that's actually what happened to the 7 and maybe even to the chapter 3 island. And then we could go into a mini season where it turns out that both chapter 3 and chapter 2 islands were actually moved because of the chrome and they somehow manipulate res particles. Yet, bit of a tinfoil hat until I realise how do you get out of the matrix again? Is it not like a chrome thing to something like that? I was like, So in terms of that, that kind of works, and it tracks. And because obviously Donald Monster was a big fan of the Matrix, it kind of tracks really well. But I don't know, that'd be a bit too much, and maybe I think I might lose it. I think I may just use it.
A last reality themed map that we have to play and fight on. So we'll have like cubes in the chrome and all that kind of stuff come back. That'd be kind of neat. And at the end of that season, whatever we do there, that's what's going to take us into chapter 8. That's kind of what I'm theorizing right now. That's kind of what I think.
Rubbish, absolutely rubbish. I still think the chapter OG. I'm just joking. Chapter OG, season X, and the season 7 end event are going to have to be the same event. Obviously, because then it correlates with Geno's plan, right? I don't know. There's obviously something we don't know. The red cube, the red butterfly, picking that ship, him actually being Geno, him rifting out reality, him turning up in chapter 7, him then sending the Dark Voyager, his obedient son, back to OG to go and check on the vault, then leave, then fortnight to post, oh, he's here but at the wrong time, but then his ship gets chopped in half. And then we're still going like, well, he's meant to be back to OG, but what was OG about in the first place? Why did he try and pretend to be the 7? Who was watching him at that point trying to pretend to be the visitor? Was he actually trying to fake out someone else who was actually watching him? And we're just falling into this trap where we're going to have a chapter OG end event, and then we're going to have something like the Big Bang. So we see the Season X event happen, and then we get transported back to season chapter 7, or it happens the other way around, right? So we were in actually chapter 7, and they go to OG, and then something happens then. I just feel like that makes the most constant sense rather than just doing both events separately when it should almost be happening at the same time. Anyway,
building up towards, I think that with what Geno is planning right now, it could be the case too. Hear me out. This was really crazy. It could be.
Sorry, I was getting on to my point about my mini season. I think chapter 7 to season X makes sense because then the vault can be where the 0 point is house, and actually the black hole event isn't finished. Sorry, it doesn't happen. For some reason, they restabilize. The 0 point isn't there to be destabilized. The 0 point gets moved there. We still obviously have to play out the season 9 event. Obviously, if there's a 0 point there, then I'm like, okay, it's the past, right? But then maybe they can sort of, I don't know, do some madness and intercept both realities. So, but then we stop the black hole for whatever reason, and we have a mini season, season 11, and what happens to the map if the map didn't get destroyed or some nonsense, which was a fan favorite back at, in chapter 2. They were like, oh, it'd be cool if we actually had a season 11 of chapter 1. That'd be so cool. Well, chapter 2's rubbish. I wish we never went to chapter 2. Chapter 1 is so good. That was used to be back in the day. I'm sure there were conversations people were definitely having, right? So, we could have a season 11, season 12. And if you remember the picture of the Dark Voyager's propaganda, right? And there was this red version of the Dark Dominion, and it sat in like an island, and there was dolphins swimming. Probably some mythological reason for that. And I was like, that actually really looked. That gave me an idea that you can literally put a Dark Dominion where the offices are in Chapter 1, and since been destroyed because of the Devourer, right? So it'd be a nice place to put. And then season later, bang, mini season. I need to stop taking.
The case that Geno is actually trying to override the loop, override the Fortnite game, and get us out of this matrix that we're in, to kind of reveal where we're actually at. And that's why he wanted to take control of the 0 point, because he knows that we're inside this loop, inside this matrix, and that's the only way to break us out. And if that's the case, maybe that's why he's been the shapeless man. Actually, maybe that is why he was the shapeless man. Geno figured out that we were inside the loop. Geno figured out that we were inside this matrix, this program, whatever the hell this is.
So he's saying that the whole thing's taking place in the last reality ship. I mean, again, I think that's too much of a craziness. I know Fortnite's make believe, but there's make believe, and something happens that you wouldn't believe, right? That'd just be crazy. Period. The 0 point goes to unstable and explodes the island and sends us to the mini season, and then we live live event after sending us to maybe stage 2. What, could a Geno actually be good? Well, we always used to think, even back in the day, that he wasn't good. Like, he still gave he still gave IO members like cancer or something. That was in the 0 point comics, right? Zero War. And then they would like fixing something, and it was like, this stuff's not good for you, right? Yeah, but we got to do it, right? So he's bad, right? But anti-hero, right? So it's like, I'm actually, because he sort of had that conversation with Foundation and Jones during the Zero War comics, right? It was like, I know you thought my ways. I know you thought my ways were abhorrent, but I was doing it out of the kindness of my heart and trying to be. Well, I actually don't remember what he was saying, but it was something like he was trying to say. It was basically saying, you thought I did a bad job, you can do it and see how you do. And obviously, they did poo-poo. They did rubbish. With it, Geno had a 0 point for thousands of years, yeah? Thousands of years. How long did it take for the last reality to blow up the island and try and attempt to take that 0 point? Literally 2 minutes. 2 minutes. He was cooked. That's why I thought. So you go back to his theory about the last reality ship. That's why I think the last reality are always manipulating people behind the scenes. So, for example, when they just let Geno control, because the idea is near simulation, but with obviously everything that's happened since with Geno, I'm a bit unconvinced about this, and it's just maybe Geno. But my idea was the last reality was like, Geno's great. Let's see how he can do stuff. Okay, so he's doing this. Let's give him a bit of a pragmatic problem, because we want to start again. And, so they ended up trying to, take the 0 point back. And that's why the Q Queen came. But then they were like, I think we might fail. We go and get the 7 to actually do it, because it's easier to take the 0 point of the 7 than it is to take it off the IO. I don't know what I was kind of thinking, but it kind of tracked in my head at the time. And then they obviously didn't succeed. So they was like, Shapeless Man, which obviously was actually Geno. But that can still track, because it still makes sense that maybe Geno is being offered something like his daughter, and he's actually having to work for the last reality. There's still obviously that big thing that the paradigm gave Amy and Jones the box of rocks at the quarry. She put it literally as Zero Fusion was happening. She put them rocks inside colliding land masses and said, Amy, or whoever's left, please take these to the Rift Warden Stellan. Like, that's some foreshadowing or foresight that is insane. To me, that's still one of the craziest things of this whole story. Now we have the conclusion to Shapeless Man. There's no more debating, right? The Shapeless Man is Geno. And that looks like, even though I've been like, I wish it was the Nothing, because I think it tracks a little bit. But here we are. So, the Paradigm, who read the scientists' plans, Zero Fusion, had the foresight, obviously traveling around other realities trying to make this whole thing come together, which was the Chapter 4 island. had the know-how to put them boxer rocks, which turned out to be refined kinetic ore, not just normal kinetic ore, which was obviously the Rift and Stellan's big problem into making the Rift Gate. So you're telling me without the 7, Geno wouldn't be anywhere near to having his plan foreseen at this point. Without the 7, they wouldn't be happening. I still think that's one of the craziest things to this whole thing. Without that, oh my god, your refined kinetic ore is the key. Oh, the Aegis champion will be happy. I still don't get the point why Rift and Stellan didn't want to tell the Aegis champion, even though the Geno left him to Raw and Empire. I don't know. He imagines a world of perfect order. I know. But that still would fall apart if you telling me that the last reality is controlling Geno or this or that or other. The whole point, or what should be the point, is that everyone thinks they can perfect reality. But obviously, is it the Order that is starting to see, because of what she's lost and what she's gone through, at least because the Order to me is the real. Actually, you know what? Now I've said that, the Order is the true and should be leader of the 7. Because, or to be fair, whoever said the line, I can't actually remember. But it's like, he doesn't understand that life isn't perfect. It isn't perfection. And that's the truth to this whole Fortnite story. And that what should be the takeaway from it. How dare you interrupt me through this whole poetic thing I'm about to say. The true essence of Fortnite, because every story needs to have this one point, right? That's what they're looking for. During vibing and during Fracture and during trying to, take the 0 point away from Geno, the 7 thought what they were doing and giving the 0 point freedom was their perfect reality, and that would be perfection. It wasn't. It was a disaster. And even Geno returning now, we know that this has already got not disgusting. This already has disaster written all over it. We know this failed once. It will fail again. Geno is doomed to fail here. Sorry, he is doomed to fail. No, it didn't work the first time. It will not work the second time. And this he's obviously got something else planned. He had the 0 point. He perfected his order, apparently. The imagined order, the inner circle. He thought he'd done it. He didn't do it. He failed. Maybe he meant to fail because he wanted to do something different, and maybe it was a whole play from him. Who knows at this point? But he thought he had his reality perfection, right? The 7 thought they did it. The last reality will also have their vision of a perfect reality. So that's why I think the perfect order line should be seen as being a lot more fluid than it is. Like, yes, it was Geno, but I think I've just provided a reason as to why it might not be. Because that should be the at least the body of why people are doing what they're doing. Because they all want their perfect order for whatever reason. The 7 because of the IO. The IO because of Geno. And whatever Geno went through to go on this challenge, or go on this journey of trying to perfect reality. I don't know what happened in his personal life before Fortnite. No one knows. They need to attach him to something at some point. And we need answers as to why he wants to do it. And same to the last reality, why their name is their perfect order, right? Their perfect reality. The last reality. For everything to be consumed by their sort of thing. Anyway, so where were we?
We've been trying to do.
We're not reacting to this whole video. I didn't record the first bit. I'm going to have to go back after stream and record like the first bit. We're 27 minutes into this recording, by the way. We're 5 minutes into the video. We get on to the point where he starts drifting off, and now I feel like we haven't even reacted to this video at the moment.
Things to break us out of it since Chapter 4, because since Fortnite Fracture, maybe we were all consumed by the Chrome and we were all put in the last reality ship. So Geno, because he was the only one that escaped when he fell to the 0 point, he
woke up. Yeah, okay, sorry. Now we know where we were. So that's what I was saying about my res video, my res particle video, the Morphite video, is that the Chrome actually acted as a vessel. Oh, sorry, it went deeper than that. The whole Matrix argument, I've just remembered. So the reason I thought when we started getting teasers of the bowl of chrome and stuff, we didn't know it was called chrome at that point. I was like, oh, it looks like mercury, right? Because mercury has the same color in thermostats, right? Back in the day, any Fortnite sort of thing that Fortnite throws up, I used to go, oh, let's see if I can attach this to Greek mythology or Roman mythology or Egyptian mythology. Give me 10 minutes. I went, okay, Mercury is obviously a Roman god. He has a Greek equivalent, of course, Hermes. Hermes and, again, possibly a tinfoil hat moment from Jay here. Both of them are messengers of the gods, yeah? You could say they're both heralds of the gods. They are. That's their job. They're heralds. And who herald the chrome? The herald. So what do these two gods do? Well, they deliver messages, but they also are psychopumps. Very specific things in mythology, by the way. Not many people have this job. They can travel between the realms. They're one of the only gods that can do that. Not many gods like them. Hades is very specific about his dominion. So too is Zeus. They're very specific about their dominions. They don't like many people going. Obviously, we had we've actually got a skin in Fortnite. It's based on not Midas, Oro. And Aurela, right? They have Scythe. What's his name? I can't remember. But he has the ship, doesn't he? And he boats people's souls into. He takes them from Elysion or something into whatever, right? But I was like, oh, Chrome, Mercury, Herald, Messengers, Psychopumps. So they're guiding souls, the Chrome, the Seven, to the afterlife, last reality. It tracks, doesn't it? That's what I was saying. You're right, BT. Carry on. Yeah, not carry on. This, you know what I mean. Anyway, that's what I was saying.
He's the one that put it. Oh, sorry. He's the one that broke into the simulation. Is trying to break everybody out. And
oh god, he's literally taking my video. I'm remembering stuff from that res particle video. Yes. So I said in that video as well, falling into the 0 point and it kills you is a lie. It actually possibly doesn't kill you, but I don't know if I actually made this correlation at the time, but I was like, oh, maybe it wakes you up, right? And it realizes that the universe is someone's got their hand in it, right? Like the last reality, and you can actually see it. I'm not saying it's like a Matrix thing. You wake up at the table. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying the whole falling into the 0 point doesn't actually kill you. It allows you to maybe become stronger or something else. And that's obviously what Jenna experienced. But for whatever happened to the imagined, I think she obviously got then captured by a last reality. That's what I'm thinking. Dark Voyager, the internal Voyager, right, fell into the 0 point. Obviously, I do think that's the Dark Voyager, and that when Geno tried to find the Imagine, he found the Dark Voyager, who may have been obviously caught by the last reality after falling into the 0 point, the uncontrolled 0 point as well. You got to fall into, not just the 0 point is still this entity what connects his universe, but at the same time, if you fall into the uncontrolled 0 point, your res particles devise and you go somewhere else, right? Which I think is either the last reality, the in-between, or something. And that's maybe why Geno has this other plan with OG, the in-between, and the red cube. I don't know what I've taken today, but we're on some other levels.
This is why he was sending people, it's going into people's dreams.
We are cooking something. I don't know if it's good.
And ultimately, that's why he's trying to take control of the 0 point.
Oh my god, the dreams are a metaphor for the in-between. You're actually traveling through the in-between, and that's actually where the dreams are. And that's why Raz was near the spire. And that's why he also saw visions and dreams, because he was so close to the 0 point, to the in-between, and to the chromium of the tower. Even though some people would argue that's, even I would say, I'm not sure that's the same chrome. But, that's why Hope's visions also returned. I'm so annoyed I didn't record the first bit of this, and it's going to have to be some trash stream quality.
But
it's fine. It's fine. I just have to put gameplay over it.
Trying to override or overload the system. That would actually be.
That's why it's got the red cube in it. Clark, remember the red
that would
cube.
Actually cover up a lot of these plot holes and all the frustrations.
And whatever Tickle saying about the rift anomalies. I keep every time in videos when I need to mention the rift anomalies, I end up calling them something else. But that's why they're appearing, because you know the 0 point, the shards, the broken, the
He's
list.
had with the story. Kind of a little bit like what Team Genesis did for their live event and all that. But yeah, I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think about that. There,
I initially thought the red cubes were like computer nodes, that they're actually like they place where they are to take data, whatever you say, to their like mainframe system, and they talk to one another, right? That's what we were having in OG, where the cubes were speaking, right? So that was still happening. It might be Jedi, might be the Nothing, might be the Dark Voyager. They were obviously talking to one another, right? So they were saying, "Oh, something's wrong. Oh, Titans, Foundation, whatever, do this, do that." So I think they're like computer nodes in this computer system, and they're actually that doesn't really help my whole thing. That I don't think Fortnite is a game simulation, but it's not really helping the cause by me saying that. But you know what I mean, okay?
I think that's pretty solid. I think that could work.
Have anyone seen Paphion? No, what is it called? What is it? It's like an animation series, and they develop an AI, and you can go into the AI, and her father goes. If you've seen the ending in that, you know what I mean.
But we'll see. So yeah, that would make Geno the good guy. That would actually make him the good guy the entire time.
I mean, a good guy's a stretch, but I know.
That would be dope if I could see.
Guys, thanks for watching this video, because we might carry this on, but I'm just gonna do the outro here, because that seems a good point to stop before getting into anything else. Guys, comment down below if I should seek medical attention. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and until next time, it has been your boy mrjayowhy. It's next time, bye. See, and that's what I don't think it is. No using. I don't want Fortnite to be VR, because I think that it's the Harry Potter argument. Oh, guys, you do know Harry Potter actually, spoilers, I suppose. You know Harry Potter. Well, it's not spoilers, but it has to say that whole thing is. It's not spoilers, sorry, but I mean, kind of maybe. Oh, if you haven't watched Harry Potter, you haven't. But so everything he goes through is it's whimsical, it's magical, right? And everyone, you always get someone who goes, "Oh, it's the same thing with the Rugrats, right?" So I lost my trail of thought. Oh, Harry Potter is actually, none of it actually happens. He's actually re-emotionally damaged because of his upbringing. He actually imagines it, and he's just been under the stairs the whole time. I'm like, get alive! It's just a book and a film. It doesn't. Why? Like, yes, these things don't. And one of the reasons they will throw up is that magic doesn't actually exist. I'm like, yeah, but it's a story. What do you mean? What a stupid. Oh, actually, none of the Rugrats happened. They actually all died. It's only the older one that actually alive, and Tommy actually, or something. I'm like, guys, again, it's just they don't actually talk. I know they're babies, but what do you mean? Why do you have to ruin everything? Why do you have to put so much realism into it? It's a story, for God's sake. Anyway, you can see that really annoys me. But anyway, that's what I would be the same if it turns out Fortnite's actually a VR experience and it's like none of it actually happened. But they still, to be fair, they would have still experienced the things that happened, right? So you might be half right there. Yeah, no, but WandaVision is done to the point where I would argue, right, that things that happened still occurred, right? I think if people died, they still died, right? If like, it was still a malleable reality that you could still touch, and he still experienced his life like he was being like the spell was so strong, even though it wasn't. It was real. It was reality. It's a simulation, but still real. The argument that every time when someone hears simulation, they presume computer games and that, and it's not. You still experience some things. So even if it is a VR, you could argue that they still experience some things in the game, right? So say if it breaks down and everything's just the in between, right? And reality was being constructed around them, but people still died in that said experience, and arguably it might still work, right? I might still not go, well, that's stupid, isn't it? You know what I mean? Anyway, I think that's a good point to stop it. Well done, Clark. We got through 6 minutes and 16 seconds. Oh my god, Marvel. Of your video over the course of how long was that? About an hour. Okay, good stuff. That's actually worse than a Cyan video. But yeah, W's. W's. So it just looked like, okay, spoiler. Have you heard the spoiler about the Unstable event? It was the one that's from a few days ago. About the voice. Yeah, we're same page. Looks to be true. Yeah, okay. In terms of how, when we react to a Cyan video, Robert, we spend ages just dissecting what he's just said. I'm just saying, I've just watched a Clark video, right? And I've only got 6 minutes into the video. We've been watching it for an hour. That's what I was saying. I'm not saying it's a bad video concept. I'm just saying how long we spend talking about it is as bad as a Cyan video. Oh, it's good. You could argue it's good. Does the Amazing Digital Circus have a See, I was going to argue actually back when the Digital Circus came in, because I have never watched it, but from it, I would argue what is currently happening is somewhat similar, right? Nine to 5 is streaming. 9 to 5 is easier than you just have to hit the stream button. Yeah, to get into a position where you're making money from it, effort, right? Like anything. But the actual job, no. Come on. You got to say a few things, record a video, talk, and like, come on. Come on, guys. Oh my god, guys, it's so hard. The true power of the 0 points. Anyway, how many likes we got on the stream? I haven't even said a like in a 17 W's, chat. 3 away from 20. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Also, if all of you consider using creator code Mr. Joy in a Fortnite item shop, I'm sure that will go a long way in helping make this job easier. Yeah, creator code Mr. Joy if you're buying Addison Ray. Is this Addison Ray? This is Addison Ray. We've got famous Addison Ray, and what this is non-famous Addison Ray. Is that how it works? Oh, tortoise. Oh. What? Famous a gun? Dr. Sloan's loving it. Diet Pepsi. Don't buy the skin for that reason. It's got to be Diet Coke, right? Addison Mike. Pretty cool. Ooh. 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 Also, I'm glad about the Sprite Garden reveal. I'll take Sprites being added feels the same when a new weapon or loophole changes. See, Robert, that's where people might be going wrong, and that's why I hate it so much. Do you think when the Voyager gets defeated, the Ice King will come out? And rest? Maybe. Who knows? What? Anyway, chat. type 1 in the chat if you can't using creator code mrjayowhy in a full item shop. What if the Chrome scientists hack in the loop next season? The Origin hacked once, didn't he? He hacked the Imagine Order database to get the information that the Zero Shard went to Marvel 616. All games, thanks for using my support creator code in the full item shop, and Rapid Snipes for using my support creator code in the full item shop. I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. The Dragonheart Demi skin is glitch. The edit style mainly. User, thanks for using my support creator code. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Actually, is that our next thing to talk about? Right, so people have been very split on the very cute looking sprites. Some people saying they absolutely love them, it's the best thing since sliced bread, and some people saying this cannot ever touch the game again. It's varied, but also at the same time, they are bringing in hundreds of thousands, if not millions of players during power hours or sprite ups, I suppose, because they sometimes last more than an hour. At them points, there could be anywhere from 1 million to 1.5 million to even 2 million players on the game. So now, if you hate sprites or like sprites, you have to agree that sprites are bringing players onto the game. Yes, you could also argue it's because of the brain rot mechanic that I guess is the foundation of the sprites. Essentially, you know, you have to go in the game at Pacific time where the rarer sprites are more likely to be out and about and more likely to be collected, and you've got to try and extract them, and it's stressful, I suppose. And there's now absolute hundreds of sprites, or at least I think 177 is now, or something like that. From Peely to llamas to soccer sprites to Batman to Polo to Peelies to the holofoils, loads of variants, right? I know it's stress, but I think why most people are stressed is, which I get, right? You want to collect them all, right? You want to be Ash Ketchum at this point. But in a season like this, unfortunately, yes, you're going to have to do trading, right? We tried, right? We tried not to trade to get it. We couldn't, right? We still got absolute tons of sprites still to collect, from 0 point sprites to Grim sprites to the llama sprites to Iron Mouse sprite as well. And we're not quite there, but we have to come to terms with that. I think when many people do, they actually might end up enjoying this process a little bit more. But yeah, I can understand why people were very annoyed about the sprites remake. I could sort of get. I mean, we did get these ones for free, right? And they're pretty cute. They're pretty cute, right? They're pretty cool. But anyway, the reason why I'm saying this is next season it has been confirmed that sprites are actually remaining, by the looks of it, and by I said over a year ago, sprites will be in the game forever, right? Unfortunately, it looks to be the case that these guys will be around forever. But yeah, this is Fortnite congratulating the design sprite winners, so my ones didn't win. That's a shame. These guys have got it, right. They've won their sprites. Actually, wait. So these are the guys. These are the ones that won. So we've got a honey sprite, a pond sprite, an X-ray sprite, a dumpster dive sprite, gather loot from jumping into dumpsters, that's pretty cool, and a bullet sprite, ammo boxes, ground slate, more animations. Ammunitions. So that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. But as well as that, obviously, it has been confirmed that we're getting this new Sprite Garden where you'll be able to go in there, make your garden, join with friends, and show off your collection. That will be immortalized forever. And it means that all the sprites from this season, next season, will be leaving the main BR, so you won't be able to collect them, and new sprites will be taking up the spaces, right? But I don't think not as many, right? But obviously the 5 sprite design sprite winners, they'll be here next season as well. Yeah, this has angered a few people. I've heard some commenters say, "Oh my god, this game just wants to die, doesn't it?" At the same time, being in the best position we've probably been in years. And you cannot deny that, right? It is what it is. It is what it is. You can't deny it, right? It's the best state this game has been, right, in terms of player numbers. I understand that people don't like it because of how much they've leaned on it this season, but it's the main mechanic of this season, isn't it? Like, how many times we have argued? Oh, okay. Well, if it's the rival system, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we getting the 7 up against the Foundation, up against the Ice King more? Why have we moved on to this? We should be more focused on the actual main mechanic of the season. And then when they actually focus on the main mechanic of the season, everyone hates it. To be fair, Fortnite is in a situation where they can't win. It is what it is. But yes, I do agree. They have leaned on sprites a lot. Too much, in fact. And there should have been other stuff added. Hopefully next season, I will believe there will be a much better actors balancing them, right? It'll be much more reduced numbers of sprites coming in, and they won't be so essential to the gameplay loop. If they are, we'll be back here having this conversation in a few months and me saying Fortnite's kind of got this wrong if they do become so lenient on the sprites again, right? Maybe there should be a specific sprite week where they can go crazy, or sprite day, or power hour. You can go crazy, but not all the time, right? So we have this creator. Where's this post? Okay, whatever. So we have this creator saying medallions for several seasons, happy about it. Reinforcements for What reinforcement? This is obviously have been translated. What are reinforcements, chat? Anyone know? Augments. Maybe I might be whatever. But then sprites for several seasons, angry about it apparently. I mean, it's been 3 seasons. It will be 3 seasons, right? 3 seasons. But yeah, in my opinion, again, I try and keep things open. I try and even though I'm well, even in myself, I really enjoyed the sprites this season. But I can see from my position that they have over-leaned on them, right? That's obvious. But I still think sprites are useful to Fortnite, to that IP. These should be around for a lot longer than they are. You're telling me if you had found, and people will argue that it's capitalism, you know. I saw one conversation about people saying that editors may have been less. Yo, let's go. W's. I don't know if that's gonna work because the... Let's go. Thank you very much for the $9 super chat. I just realized my stream my OBS did an update yesterday, and it's removed video capture audio, and that you would hear that. So that didn't play out. Sorry. That's a bit annoying. I'll sort that out. If that didn't play, if it did play, then fair, but it might not. That's annoying. That took me ages to fix. I'm gonna have to go and do it again. But the mechanic, thank you for the $10 super chat. W's. Yeah, I saw a conversation of someone saying, what was it? Someone saying, you know what? I need to actually get the tweet up for it. I'm sure I bookmarked it. W's indeed, no. W's indeed. I'm such an idiot. I really lost my trail of thought. That's it. I saw people arguing that the devs have been less communicating recently or something, and before they were communicating so much better and the sprites have ruined it. Now it's just about sprites. When even though every single dev have been talking about the sprites because they are the main mechanic of the season. Again, Fortnite can't do anything without, for half the community, they're doing a W move, and for half the community, they're doing an L move. And this is the same argument for Ret, right? And this is what they should always do. Fortnite should always do this. And to be fair, and then I can... okay. I should always completely lean into a season's mechanic, right? Which they have done this season. And they should have done in Wrecked. They shouldn't have half-nerfed them because then everyone hated that season. Even the people that like the cars. They should lean into it. Yes, next season they have to be a bit more diligent with what they do with the sprites, but they can exist. Like, these sprites are gold minded. Like, yes, you could argue Fortnite's just seen the money and they just, like, no way. Like, of course they would. If you had found in anything you do in life, if you had somehow created a very interchangeable thing like the sprites where they can all look the same essentially, but be so different. And their outline are all the same, right? They're the same sort of size, and they're very marketable. They're kind of, they are like Lego. They are like Funko Pop. So I said this almost a year ago. There's a video I just put up today in a Discord from a video I did a year ago when Sprites first came into the game. I was like, there's no way these guys are sticking around for one season or for a bit of a chapter and going. These are better than the sidekicks, in my opinion. I don't know if the sidekicks were around then, but I was like, these should have been what the sidekicks were, right? They should have a mode. They should have maybe another mode where you can maybe collect them more, right? An adventure mode. And Fortnite should really try and somehow utilize that and dive into that, because these are fun, right? Maybe this season a little too much. I can agree to that, right? But arguably, I think Fortnite has done the right decision to lean on to it this season and maybe overplay at some points. Hopefully next season is going to be the telltale signs, right? Because then I would be like, yeah, you're right. They are overplaying it. They need to draw back on the sprites a little bit. But next season hasn't happened yet. They should do that. Sprites should be used as sidekicks. Honestly, these guys are great. I think the possibility what you can do with the sprites are endless. A lot more endless than sidekicks. But anyway, guys, Have I said anything I wanted to say about Sprites? I feel like I do feel like I'm going to probably leave this in the video. Maybe I'm a little biased because I have enjoyed them, but I feel like I have said, you know, they have been too much this season. They should have added more weapons. They haven't done that. I agree, but I still would say they should have leaned into them. 1.5 million players playing when you do a power hour. Yes, it's brain rotty, but it's working. Anyway, I think the main issue with what I have seen from people complaining about is that the sprite affect the battle pass items. And once the season is over, they're just unable to be obtained. I think I have mentioned that in this video. If I haven't, I'll go over it again just in case I haven't. Unfortunately, yes. Fortnite has always had a problem, and I think that's why battle passes, you could argue, have in recent years felt a little less, because you can obtain everything now later past the date because skins are meant to return, right? And we've started seeing that now. But things like a collectible season, I'm trying to word this correctly, you shouldn't be expected to collect everything. But I know how Fortnite is. I know how the community reacts to battle passes. So people believe they should have everything. They should have the ability to collect everything in an RNG based system. That is impossible, unfortunately, unless you do trading. If you do trading, then you probably will get everything, right? But you really still have to work at it. You got to hit up people you probably don't know, and yes, maybe they've got it wrong in that point. But in a collectible season, there has to be, unfortunately, players, or at least Fortnite would have to consider there be players. And as you said, it is attached to the battle pass, and they won't be able to collect all the stars for the Guardian. And part of me thinks, okay, that isn't great, but part of me is also like, well, yeah, of course, that's impossible to collect every single one. Yeah, it's like, unless you can somehow trade up. Like, you can't unlock it from doing XP. You've actually got to find these things. And it's difficulty. Because then, if it wasn't like that and they were just easy to collect, then no one would care about them. So it's this fine line of having to, you know, work it, right? And back to the Battle Pass point, that's my point, right? I would argue, since exclusivity has gone, I feel like the connection we used to have with Battle Passes have also gone. Either that's a good thing or not. Like, FOMO maybe isn't all bad, and that's what I'm trying to say, which might be a bit of a hot take. But in small amounts, I think it's okay, right? I think we're in this age where everyone's like, I deserve everything, I must, because you are paying money, I get that, but then other things. And then, yes, the argument, it's digital, right? It's digital products. Again, you could argue if they were real, yes, that's fine. But it turns out we will still be able to collect these. So we should still be able. That will be a point. I want to see what Fortnite says about that, Lucky Llama. If they do return, if we do not have Guardian styles, will we still have having the ability to be able to unlock some of the Guardian styles? And unless I've missed something in these posts, I don't think that's been said, right? Because then that's fine, right? That's how they should do it, because that's how I argued in my video. I've already said this in my video where I was like, I think Sprites will stay. I think they should stay in some capacity because they are good, but again, they are net positive. Yes, they've leaned on them too much and they need to come back a bit. But yes. So they are making it so these should be in the game still, or attainable at certain points, like power hours. And we should continue to unlock the Guardian. And I'm sorry, I haven't even discussed about the possibility of the new Sprites. Yeah, that's a good point. They must leave it open for the Guardian to be edible. I can't say that word. You should be able to customize them, add additional styles to Guardian, right? I think they just went slightly too big, especially now they're doing a new season with them, so they could have spread them out, but I don't know. I really like them overall. I don't know when you came in, Lucky. Like I sort of said about Fortnite not completely being committed in their game mechanics for seasons. How many times have we complained Fortnite not being not enough committed? Wrecked. I thought they needed to be nerfed, but I sort of said, people enjoying them, let them enjoy it, right? At least someone is enjoying the season. Then they nerfed them to help the others who wasn't enjoying it. No one liked the season after that. So they need to just commit, and then we deal with it the next season if they're staying in, right? And this is what they've done this season. They've committed to the sprites. Fair play. Fair play. Maybe a bit too much, yes, but fair play. We need that from Epic. Let's not say they add this hacked mechanic next season. People like it's rubbish, but there's a certain number of people enjoying it. Just leave it as it is. Let's not have everyone hate this season. But anyway, I think we got a video out of that, so thanks for the involvement there, chat. That's pretty good. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if the Guardian remains to be customizable with the additional sprites coming into the game and with the sprites that have left. I will add up, I suppose, if I can find anything on Fortnite to say that's the case. Actually, it might even be in the item shop. It might actually just be here. If I view. No. Anyway, I look at it. Guys, thanks for watching this video. If you did like it, hit the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you do buy anything in the Fortnite item shop, consider using creator code MrJayowhy in the Fortnite item shop, mrjayowhy. Thank you to everyone using my code. I do appreciate the support. It helps support the channel and makes making these videos easier. So until next time, it has been your boy mrjayowhy. Till next time, bye bye. Another video there, chat. Yeah, we also did talk about that. Was a long conversation. That was about a 20-minute conversation about sprites coming back. It will be a video, so you'll be able to watch it at some point. Maybe. Oh, damn! I just did that clock video. That's a video, and that's a video, and then we got community on Sunday. Oh, and here it's going to be a busy weekend already. It's 18 months from release when Battle Passes return. But yeah, because of that, do you buy the Guardian styles? Do you buy the? Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna play that. How is that gonna work? See, this is what I said. Bringing Battle Passes back is actually a bad idea because you get stuff like this and you're thinking, well, that ain't gonna return, is it? That's gonna be a mess. But for people who got it this season, and I think wherever you collect the sprites and that will leave the game after the season at some point after this season, then it should be added to your thing, yeah? And then for new variants, they should be added to Guardian. Exactly, Lucky Llama. Alright, chat, I'm just going for a quick break. I'll be back in a second. We've somehow... Have my stream restarted again? On my OBS? Since I've been streaming an hour and 17 minutes. Not saying it's been a bad stream, it feels like I've been streaming for ages, but it just feels like I've been streaming longer than that, but maybe I haven't. Maybe I haven't. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute, chat. The only way I see the Guardian getting the next season sprites is they re-add it. The season 4 battle pass. Is that what they have to do? Is there no way of like disconnecting it from that? Remember that he was, which actually made sense. Remember the original Guardian skin, right? Was an OXR member. Like he looked like something from the OXR, didn't he? Which actually makes sense with the whole sprite thing, but obviously they moved on from the OXR story, so he had to gain his revenge, I suppose, on Geno instead of the Dark Presence and Daigo, right? Yeah, we talked about that as well. There'll be from one voice actor, apparently. It's got to be either Sloan or Geno, right? See, like, someone just said, okay, maybe I will better get out my point, my earlier point. So this person just said, I just saw this on Twitter. Fortnite is so grindy now, and honestly, it burns me out a lot. Ranked Battle Royale, Ranked Reload map mastery, arena box fights. Who's still playing? Fair. Story quests, summer quest. There's so much to do, and honestly, looking at the sheer amount of stuff you need to do, it's 100%. But it's this mindset we have nowadays where we got to complete it and have everything and stuff. I used to be like that, and I guess it's different for games. You can just always have the ability to be able to complete. It's obviously a very different nature in a VR game and a live action game, which I understand. But I'm like, my brain is not like this. If I fail passing the battle pass, or if I don't get the sprites, I'm a little bit disappointed, but it's not going to like get me to go this negative, right? I mean, it is too much, yes, but that's just for players. They do want to grind. I understand it's like, oh, this is so much, how am I meant to do this? They're forcing me to do this, which they're not, right? They're just providing enough content if you want to do that. So what do you want them to do? Not provide enough content for large swathes of the community, and then they'd be like, okay, well, I've done everything, what do I do now? I mean, there'd be some people that will still say that even now, right? Which they are. But see, and that's the funny thing about it. Like, I've had people go, I've collected all the sprites now. Oh, you got the Grim sprite? Yeah, Jay, I've got all the Grim. You got 0 points? I mean, well, that's you, mate. Go and touch some grass. What do you want Fortnite to do about it? I mean, I get what you're saying, but you've completed an awful lot of the game. It's like when GTA will come out, I bet we'll have like 100 hours of challenges and story. I bet someone's going to complete it in like 3 days and go, is that it? Well, yes, that was it. It's not my problem you played it over 3 days. So you get one side will always argue it's not enough. You get someone who argue it's too much, and and then, as I said, there is no winning for Fortnite, right? There's no winning. But yeah, I feel like you just have to somehow come to terms that in a thing that you have to collect everything, like Pokemon cards. Like how much you either have to be re-locking, spend a good amount of money, but not too much, and somehow find all the hits, right? Or you're spending so much money. And yes, it's not digital. I know someone will argue that, but it's still the same concept, right? Like, you're just not going to collect all them Pokemon cards unless you have money. And it's unfortunate, but this is my point, right? I'm like, look how much is there. I'm like, yes, it's so much of the game and so much more things to do. But if you're somehow telling yourself that you need and have to complete all this stuff, I feel like you can only blame yourself now. Maybe that's a bit of a hot take, but I feel like you can only blame yourself now. I'm like, there's going to be games that have so much content you're not going to be able to. There is literally PlayStation games with like, you have, you know, as part of it, you have the 100% thing, don't you? There's no need to do that. I think I've only ever done that for one game, but there's no need to do that. The game has a natural story that you can finish and stuff like this, and this is just Fortnite offering players who want to do that stuff something to do. I don't know. That's my problem. Like, if the only thing you do to the game is do story quests, yeah, I would argue there probably isn't a lot of that around at the moment, right? But is that it? I think I would love more storyline rather than reload, rank, quest, sank. That's just my opinion, but they're catering for loads of players, not just you, right? I haven't even uploaded the other video from yesterday. Oh, I can actually just link them two together, actually. Good point. Chat, if you are enjoying the stream, make sure to hit the like button. An hour and 30 minutes into the stream, we're fine. Actually, did I play one game before I started talking? I don't remember. We're finally playing Fortnite anyway, chat. And you know, I'm aware. You only someone will try and go, well, you do know, Jay, you're only renting these skins, don't you? You're only licensing them for the period of time you have the account. Yeah, I read the fine print, mate. I do. What's your point? Well, yeah. Trying to. I got your moment. Right, the next day we have another update on the mech. It now has its torso. So it literally only needs now 2 arms and a head, I think. Oh wait, does it need it needs a back pack as well, doesn't it? It needs a back bling as well. And I think then you're done in the paint job. So we're getting there. Slowly but surely. This mech is actually almost complete. This is so cool. Oh. I think the mech will be different, or a different paint job. Actually, about a year ago, I did, if Chapter 3 mini-seasons happening, right? And I said, I think they should probably give it a rest with mini-seasons. Maybe we do it the year after, right? I painted the mech in the thumbnail as if it was Singularity, so I did it in Singularity colors. Like the green, the dark green, and the slightly pinkish red. They look pretty good, to be fair. But obviously, now that probably won't happen, what I was theorizing, because I thought the visitor, Geno, would go to Singularity. It's like, I need help in my reality. I can't contact my 7 for some reason. They must be busy doing something else. I need help with something. I don't know if you've done anything like this before, but, you know, because it's an alt reality, you might have. I've got a dinosaur problem, and she's going to be like, oh, yeah, I can do that. Oh, don't. But obviously, it might turn out OGs in the past. But with everything that's happened with the red cube and the Jenna being the visitor here, I don't know. We carry on, I suppose. I just found the iMouse sprite out of a sprite chest. Nice. Big W's. Oh, let me just get the correct chat up. And then pop that out and put that in there. Yes, okay, we're ready. Right, so let me remove custom key and then go to main VR. Personally, I feel like Geno is going to be betrayed by the Voyager. Yeah, possibly. I think that will probably happen. Oh, someone's just asked about what we've just said. Actually, you know what? I do remember now something on the post saying about the pod battling. But then Fortnite status just said, oh, some people are struggling with this, and I don't think that was what they were saying. That's not even what they asked. So I guess we have to leave that at a later date. The Foundation. Well, I actually thought he was hiding until... you know, he knew who somehow worked out that the visitor was lying to him, right? Obviously, he probably wouldn't have worked out that he was Jenna, right? But the visitor obviously messed up his machine, and he must have been like, okay, it must be him. So I thought he would step back, pretend he died, and be trying to work out a plan. But he's been revealed, and he still hasn't come back, so... I don't know. I don't know, chap. I'm still team Last Reality is pulling the strings. Possibly. Yeah, I'm not. I'm also... I'm less convinced than I was, but I still think, yeah, that's a possibility, right? Both Dragonheart, Demi, and Spectral Devourer styles are glitch. Like, glitches in, like, storyline glitch reasons, or just broken? I remember you saying that earlier in the stream, but, I forgot to check it out. I forgot to check it out, chat. I think the monster will win in the final showdown event. That would be crazy. What if because the 0 point might not be there. If it's there, right? I've already said in today's. Oh my god, is that just random galaxies? Well, I've already said in the stream, right? I was like, maybe they just he gets to the vault and there won't be a 0 point in there. I mean, I've already got this, but crazy is just walking around, right? What, a free spirit just walking around? How dare they? Probably come out of nowhere in the event as like a surprise, but no one really likes him anymore. What, a Foundation? Yeah, what are you doing here? I don't like the way they've made Geno kind of mashed with the nothing. See, this is what I'm feeling as well. I don't like it, right? That's why I wanted the Shapeless Man to be the nothing. I've been saying for a while, like, I think it's probably Geno, right, guys? But I feel like for him to be the Shapeless Man, I feel like you start, you know, as you said, because that's what it's doing, right? It's kind of mashing them two characters up a bit. Oh my god, I've got one too! Oh, sorry! Alright, I still have to extract it first. I'm going to try a manual extraction, which is probably a bad idea. I mean, that could be anything, right? Until we see the mech pick it up, right? You could argue that somehow was something else. I mean, yes, it's unlikely, right? It probably is a 0 point, and then we're going to have a headache trying to work out why and what and where and how. But until then... Idiots. Well, 0 points red. I mean, a cube obviously isn't in. Well, the cube, in my opinion, it's not there, right? That was the one that was used in the end event. YOG should be renamed to Fortnite Wave. Well, that's what it is now. I just found my first gem sprite and got killed a second later. No! Where's River? No idea. Wow, that was messy, wasn't it? That was a messy little fight, but we got there in the end. Oh, hello. I'm trash at this game. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, it was only... I do think the countdown will be above the stabilizer tomorrow, Jay. Oh, tomorrow? Oh, yeah, it's Saturday and it's like almost... So it's almost a 15. It's creeping up on us. It is creeping up on us, isn't it? Alright. See, reality raves absolutely doing nothing. And have been this whole season. Or reality tendrils, I suppose you could call them as well. Reality raves, I guess, was actually referring to the glitch. I reckon these are probably more tendrils, right? Right, someone opened this one. But it's because it's not in zone, right? What if the end event, the black hole, is red? What? Why does the game feel a little bit weird today? It's too quiet around there. It's too quiet. And in the end, it doesn't even matter. Please get me in there quickly. We're never going to get a Grim, are we? I'll just have 5 wins in a row, all with a new sprite. Nice. Now this doesn't work, does it? So yeah, actually a point to go in here. Oh, there might have been. There might have been, chat. Oh wait, we can rift. Do. Chat, I hope you are enjoying the stream. Thanks for the 25 likes. Finally got the Sprite party emote. Oh my god. What do you need for that one? Do I have the Sprite party? We all need sprites at that party. 70 sprites mastered. Next Mastery Monday, I need to get to work. How many I got at the moment? I'm probably like 33. I bought the Diet Pepsi emote using code mrjayowhy. Thank you very much. You heard him. You know what to do next time you're in the item shop, guys. Consider using credit code mrjayowhy. I wonder if Sprite Mastery rewards will still be possible to get after this season. I was about to say that's different to the Guardian, what we were trying to argue right earlier, but I think no. I have 47 mastered. Nice. Okay. I'd lock in. Am I even streaming on Monday? I think I've... No, I've got the weekend off, haven't I? I'm streaming Monday. I mean, when I say off, I'm just doing content, right? I'm trying to hit the shorts, right, chat? Trying to do a lot more shorts. And we need more views, right? We need more views on the channel. We need to be like... I would like to be around half the million... Half the million? That's not even the number, chat. 500,000 to 1 million sort of position, right? To make that a nice base view. So I thought the best way to do that would be shorts, but we haven't really... Shorts have been performing consistently well, but you know, I would like a little better. Question wants to know, Jay, who is the cannon pilot of the Guardian? Oh, I think it's the water sprite. What's happening in that loading screen, right, is that I'll master both these two. Is what's happening, right? Is that obviously you can see the water sprite is on like a jetpack. I think it's taken off from the Guardian and the 0.1's jumped in it. And then obviously the other one's just running away, annoying slow. That's what I think is happening in that shot, right? So I would still say it's a water one. Or unless they just take it in turns, right? I think Epic forgot to say when concerts would be happening again in BR. Why would it be happening at all? What? It's crazy that we've just seen like really like rare sprites just walking around in this match. Doing good, nothing much, just chilling. Oh, how's Void doing? How's it going, Void? Welcome to the stream. Alright, let's get to the zone. That's what I'm not the best right now, but I'm here. So, sorry to hear that, man. Sorry to hear that. I wonder if he got... Ah! Just wanted to see if he had a cube sprite. Oh my god. He's obviously got a cube sprite. Damn, Chip. Damn, Chip. Oh, wow, they're fine. So, someone said we had how many? 40. I mean, how many sprites? Oh, I've already forgotten. 47 out of 70. Yeah, lock in, chat. Oh yes, we need the whatever the sprite thing. What was it? What's our objective? What is our goals, chat? Oh yeah, sprite party. We need a sprite. Right, we need that. If we don't, it'd be disappointing, but oh well. Okay. 1v1. What's a 1v1 mean? What are we doing, chat? They must have me confused with another streamer. Must have me confused with someone else. So I have 81. Okay, no need to rub it in, Ultimate. The reason I brought up about Constant in Chapter 7 earlier is because leakers said that Constants would be returning in Chapter 7. When did they say that? I don't remember that. Insert clip of me saying it in like a video or something. I think it was a mistake that Epic started putting big artists and festival passes since they could have done more for like them like a concert. Yeah, you know what? We probably do need like another concert again. Like in BR, right? On this creative or battle stage nonsense or whatever it was. Not battle stage, what was it? Party Royale. Remember when we had this whole conversation? Well, not re. I don't think I even did a video on it. But obviously, there's rumours that Party Royale was getting a big update. Maybe it's this. Maybe that's it. Party Royale, but for sprites. That's what we're getting. That's what we're getting, chat. Whoa! Whoa! You know what Fortnite should add if they're keeping sprites in for next season? Left hand. You can hold him like that. Yeah, we got rid of ballistic. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. It's the first time I've thought about ballistic now. Since you mentioned it. Hello. Oh, I am actually dead. Oh, GG's. I mean, it did fire 1,000 employees. There is that. There's definitely a few things on the agenda before you venture ballistic. Was gotten rid of because the mode wasn't complete. Party Royale, yeah. Instead of bringing out half completed maps, and it's unfortunate, right? I saw what they were trying to do, but they just needed to lock in a bit more and just get the maps finished and say, "This is the best map you're gonna play." Nothing needs done. We test it, should be fine. Maybe a few changes. They just kind of messed up, right? Where are you off to? Got a little briefcase. It's off to work, man. It's off to do a job. Since we wanted more quality than the quantity. Than quality? What? Tim Sweeney wanted more quantity than quality. That's why he shouldn't be CEO. I mean, that? I know what they were trying to do with ballistic. They were taking the expression of Overwatch and Apex. They just got, I don't know, I just didn't play it. You have to play it with people who will play with you and in the squad. If you tried to queue up into randoms, it was a nightmare, unfortunately. Not something to get behind. What they should do, what am I reading? What they should have done is release 3 maps at a time and then let players. That's exactly what they should have. I only have one in for so long. I forgot about that. They had one in for so long, and then when they actually added another one, it was like unpainted. I don't know what they were thinking. Hello, Ultra, how's it going? Ultra, you got a gem 0 point sprite, says Ethan. No, rip. What the hell happened there? Alright, take gem sprite. Gummy sprite, sorry. Get them confused. Easy done. Serena, how's it going? Welcome. Jay, yes, Jay, yes. Ever since the metaverse stuff, Tim Sweeney just basically destroyed what made Fortnite popular. Has he know? I get what you're saying, but some of them have landed pretty well. But I get you at the same time. But some of the stuff have done alright, right? If you think Fortnite was the same game it was 10 years ago, would it still work? Well, no, it wouldn't. It would say well, wouldn't it? But you know, VR. Do I have an idea? Make a ballistic-like game for after the mrjayowhy verse based on the characters from it. Bye. Storyline died after Fracture. Well, no. Well, no and yes, right? Because, you know, there are some good pivot points. What we got in chapter 5, right? So why we are here. The 0 shards? Are you saying they brought the story back, or did they bring the 7 back? That sounds like what you're saying. Duos? No, I'm playing solos at the moment, mate. Arguably, maybe hot take, I still think currently Chapter 6 storyline has it a bit more together than Chapter 7's. In Chapter 7 at the moment, there's a lot of things happening, but you know, it's a bit unfair when you comparing it to something that's finished, right? But saying it like Chapter 6 didn't have a coherent story when it obviously did. Maybe took a dive in Chapter 6, Season 4, I mean, everything led leading to the Simpsons mini-season and stuff like that. But, and then even like the shorts, right? They were pretty good. Chapter 6 was so boring. Fair enough. Thanks for 28 likes. I'm sorry. Be free. So why was I not? As I said, I'm not doing Duros. I'm just playing solos, so that's why. Play every chapter full, even chapter 5, and I hated the chapter, but chapter 6 died. Well, you're talking to someone who's played all them chapters as well. I mean, we wasn't actually talking about chapter 5. I mean, it was talking about, obviously, story died after the patch. There was obviously still story going on in chapter 5. I mean... When you say no story, what do you mean? Like, do you mean bad storytelling? Do you mean scattered storytelling? Do you mean sporadic storytelling? Like, because there's still stories being told in chapter 5. I don't talk about chapter 4. What do you mean chapter 4? Chapter 4 had the whole Shaped Man arc, which is kind of picking up again. So without chapter 4, you don't have now. What do you think was Janet's plan? Well, to restabilize the 0 point and create perfect reality. Well, that's disappointing. We're talking about stories. Sorry, are you talking about chapters? We're talking about stories, right? Do I think the last reality is coming back? Well, yeah, of course. Just when, right? Next season? I mean, possibly. But I really want this whole Geno thing to go a bit deeper first before they start bringing the last reality, but... that isn't up to me. Where's this other keeper? Oh, I don't care. You have a question? What's the question?
God, you see beauty where I see loss.
Oh, it's Foster's Blight plate, isn't it? Bats away. Yeah, we're not going there. P3, little ass, right. I mean, maybe... maybe, Relight Line, maybe the 0 point was quite... when it was being put together, was at its strongest, right? So maybe we all heard it. Well, apart from people... apart from the order and stuff like that, because obviously they would have mentioned it. Maybe it's just something not important to mention at the moment, they think. Chapter 4 story had potential with the last reality stuff. Was it last reality? No. What was it? What you argue is last reality, right? The Aegis champion builds the Rift Gate. Dahlia and then comes through the Rift Gate with Chesa Cutasabi. Jenna is using Dark Voyager cubes. Where is the last reality in that now? Without obviously presuming that Jenna is somehow working for them or whatever, which I think. Unless they can somehow give him his daughter back, I just think it would be very stupid. That's just my opinion, though. Amy has felt a bit off, but she was kind of back at it last week, or this week, sorry. But I mean, her pieces of her went to Riftgate, right? They came back fragmented and changed, right? But she went through it and just came, you know, that was it. No, nothing. Okay. Well, yes, because if Dahlia came through with Chester Cube Tasby, right, which then unearthed Wilds, that brings Sloan out of hiding, right? But also, it means wherever thing you went through was wherever Dahlia came out of, which would be wherever Jenna was through, right? I made the Ultra, but at this point, it's irrelevant. As Jenna would say. Everything else is irrelevant. There's only the 0 points. Well, I'll take a reboot. I mean, Amy could be the hacker, right? Fair enough. Chat, thanks for 29 likes. If you do buy anything in the Fortnite item shop, consider using credit code mrjayowhy if you're buying Addison Ray or any other things that are in the Fortnite item shop currently. Hype Squad, Hulk, Seth, Glitch, Red Knight, Squid Games, and Moses Lack. Consider using code mrjayowhy. Type 1 in the chat if you can't use my code so I can thank you personally. If you would like to type that in the chat. No, it's all good. Relighted line, thank you very much. Why do these villains want the 0 points so bad? Because it can manipulate and change reality in an instant. That's why. All games, thank you. Am I ending? I don't think so. Jay, do you think Jones is going to join the 7? Yes. In about 4 chapters time at this point. Yes, he will be joining the 7 in due course. I'm not talking about who's in control, just how much potential Chapter 4 story had. Oh, well, yeah, okay, yeah. I just think that Fallout Battle Royale will be a decade. It'll be a decade. How much Fortnite changed, yeah? Geno in control of the 0 point, the imagined order. Sorry, chat. I'm just being silly. Alright, I'll be back in a second, chat. I'm just going for a quick break. Also, chat, if you check in the description, you'll be able to see the Discord link, TikTok, Instagram, I believe, as well. Actually, is Instagram there? Now I've said it, I'm not too sure. I'm going to have to go and check. Yeah, Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, Cameo, merch, everything's there. Is it everything? Guys, I shall be back in a second. Ooh, what is? Why does it do that? Okay, I have returned, chat. Alistair, today is my birthday today. I'm looking for a Gem Grim and a Gem 0. I don't unfortunately have any of those, but happy birthday. WJ. How's it going? Welcome. I mean, I think you were in earlier. I was just having a big yap at that point. I did see your name pop up. You got all the sprites. GG's, Boomer. GG's. Sorry, why is that being translated from W Jamie to that? Oh, what? Are you going to do next part of it, mate? I said I was only going to react to like the first bit. Mate, 5 minutes took an hour. What, every day I do a 5-minute segment. Guys, we would honestly be there all day. What do you think the map is going to look like next season? Different, but I think the same. I think there will be little areas that will get hacked during the game and it will switch them up. Or something like that. I think that'd be kind of cool. We already had the map change season. I mean, well, yeah, because of the event, I suppose. And I mean, Geno's base being thingied, but yeah. I mean, we'll change again, but I feel like I could do this like element with the glitch effect, right? Maybe a place where Pac-Man is hunting you, so you need to evade him. Yeah, something like that. Egglands? Maybe. Kind of like when it was Cartman Land or whatever it was, right? I think the OG7 is coming back at some point. I think they will return. But how and why is anyone's guess, right? I'm interested in what happens at 0.82. I think it'd be acting out. Yes, I did check OG. Still yet to do the first bit of the video. Members, there is currently a video available. It will be obviously released for everyone else later, but probably somewhat after the stream. So maybe midnight, I think, UK time. So that matches 6 p.m. US. So, and do you think every current member will stay? What? So the 7 remains. The 7 essentially, with the numbers being 7, right? I don't think that has to be the case, does it? Does it have to be the case? I think the Ice King is going to return. I hope so. He's a cool character. He's a pretty cool character. Oh, I've no idea if I got a gummy one. I do. I gave one to... Wait, did I? I've no idea. Well, didn't they start with 7 members? We know we have the Lupus calendar, and that looks really ancient, right? But only shows 5 members. Without the Imagine in the order. So well, they did 5. But yeah, the 7 started out at 7, right? When they became the 7, that's, I guess, when they became 7, right? Or when they were 7, they became just 7. Keep shooting me. I've seen him. Don't mind me, just botting out. I mean, the current 7 and the new 7, I mean, they're just the 7, right? I get what you're saying at the same time, but it's just going to be called a 7, regardless of who's in the lineup, right? I don't think they do 2 teams of 7. Seems a bit silly. I might do, but it just seems a bit counterintuitive, right? Both Foundation Ice King return. Ice King better keep away from the Foundation. Can you leave the Ice King alone, bro? Who? OG7 was lost to Chrome. Powder lost to Zero Fusion. The Y lost to streaming. Oh my god, is that loot station? Crazy, that actually might be loot station. Oh my god, I didn't think it was that high. It might just be a golden Midas skin, not a golden Peely. Right, chill. Oh, look at all them cubes. So cool. Oh, it's just a peely. It looked like a golden peely. Well, you know, 2 OG members are, well, technically at the moment the Foundation is absent without Lee, right? He's lost in battle. We think he's obviously coming back, right? But, you know. Yeah, but the Foundation, they found his helmet, right? Because obviously the Geno had it, right? Oh, he's all kind. We're gonna have to extract. I wonder if Team Foundation won instead of Team Ice King. I wonder how different the Shadow event would have played out. Yeah, I would like the Foundation got absorbed. Or something else would have happened, right? I don't know. I think he needs a gummy llama. That's a shame. That's a shame. Thing is, I already have that as well. Now what? I might find him one, see if I can find him one immediately and just run back to him and say, you can take this. I always went on Team Foundation last year. Ooh. Sorry to hear that. Anyone remember community votes? Vaguely. There you go. Oh, by the way, Jay, also, OG, the chapter 2 Irons is coming back. Yeah, that's what we believe, right? I reckon chapter 2 events will play out different. But how long do you, like... How long can you play that out consistently, right? And for it not to become... either too obvious or just the wrong play, right? Oh, it's just making the thingy sound if you don't start here. Okay, what are you thinking about for the future of the story? We need an Imagine Order style cop show. Hear me out. The Imagine Order went around with the enforcers, but they acted like police, right? But, you know, like a cop show, something like, I don't know. What's it called? Chicago or the Rookie kind of thing? I don't know. They go around and arrest people jumping into different realities. But it turns out they're the actual bad guys. So our two... Oh, I'm chatting rubbish at this point. Our two protagonists will find out that the Imagine Order are actually the bad guys, right? Oh my god, we're the bad guys. Is this actually someone in stream? He keeps avoiding me. I did. Is that him confirming that it's going to be playing out on Netflix or something? Oh. Yeah, I did see that. I think the Unvault event will be my second favourite event because of how the vault opens. It's pretty cool, to be fair. Yeah, I think I'll wait until it's on YouTube because you can't... Netflix will thingy my OBS without it. You have to do something if you want that to happen. Well, that worked out well for you, didn't it? Oh, he's following me. You can come over me. If we live to tell the tale. Move, move. I've burnt peanut. Unfortunately, I think I do. Oh, what? Let's go, chat! Let's go! I'm locked in. I got it done. What 2 skins? Oh, the ones that glitching. What do you have to do here? What? What's glitch about it? Why does it keep doing that? We had it, so. What are we looking at here? It's not glitch for me. Just better the game. Just better the game. What was I had to abandon a level up that game because it was getting too dicey, and I just thought I'd bring it back in next game. Where is it? Oh, it's here. Oh, the original style of clothes don't change. Okay. What's up with the Devour? Whatever it's called, the Eternal whatever. Chat, thanks for the 31 likes. They should make a way to customize your own sprite and choose from an ability. Yeah, I guess they could make a mode. They've done that with the customizable sidekicks, right? Oh my god, it's the valve. Oh. Images in Discord. There's. Beep, beep, beep. I wish the sprite on the sprite pod were a little larger. Yeah, it's the same. I just see someone talk about that. All I was missing is loads of sprites that I can't find. Ooh. What happened? What is occurring? No way. They like forget about moaning about everything this season about the sprites. How have they not sorted out the sound issue in that one singular chest building is ridiculous. Well, no point in leveling that one up. Waste of time, really. I would have leveled up if I kept it. I would have won the game, but I was kind of didn't look like I was going to win the game at that point. Sent. Okay, I'll check it in a minute. How can you? Alright, let's pop off, chat. Fucking on. God. Panicking. Don't find me yet. I need a shotgun. I need a shotgun. Then we can fight. Now we can fight. Oh. Extra spike now. Go over the other building. Oh no. That was just a bot, I think. I think we're pretty safe to assume that. Ah, well, we just get eliminated now. That's fine. No, that's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. I've seen a ton of problems with unlocking this season. So a lot of, not personally with me, but I have seen a lot of conversation with it online. A lot of Reddit talk about it and Twitter. I think Amy's going to betray us. I'm about 55% sure that she's not going to betray us, but you never know. There are some sus things that makes no sense, right? Her going into the... Riftgate while her fragments got corrupted and she was fine, though. Heard that there are methods to find them. Possibly. I've seen. I'm trying to think. Have I ever seen anyone else walking around? Yeah, makes sense, I suppose. Is Iron Mouse not rare? I mean, I have Iron Mouse. I found less Iron Mouses than I found gem variants. So... Oh. Anyway, statistics have no memory, so, you know. You can find a Grim 0 point sprite 5 times in a row. Possible, isn't it? But I don't know the actual number, right? I don't know what it says. You want to have sprites for free? Well, like a trade. Until next time, all games, have a good one. Thanks for being here. As always, it's been fun. If you chilling, I guess there is a video to watch available for members at the moment. So if you find yourself, yeah. Well, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Not at the moment. I might do some trading over this weekend, right? That makes it 32 likes. Keep hitting that like button. If you haven't already, have you hit the like button? If you haven't, double tap the screen if you're in vertical stream. Is anyone even watching on vertical stream? Oh, God. Oh, hi, me, little lum. Doom Sprite, take less health damage, but take more self damage. Fair enough. Did I just hear? Well, that's unfortunate. No, I'm alright at the moment. I'm fine. I'm probably gonna wrap things up here. It's been a good stream, but I'm tired and I got to record that first bit of the stream as well. Next time I'll be streaming, chat. Where's my schedule? So I'm off the weekends. I'll be streaming again on the 10th, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Today was actually meant to be a 7 to 9 p.m., but here we are. Expect some videos and some shorts over the weekend. Optimus Prime Sprite when sliding transforms into a truck. That'd be funny. That'd be pretty cool. Right, if you do buy anything in Fortnite, shop can see and create code mrjayowhy, mrjayowhy. If you check in the description of this stream, there's all my links to my other socials, my TikTok, my Twitter, my Cameo even's there. But guys, it has been a fun stream. I'm going to go have some food and then edit some videos for you guys to enjoy. So I see you on Monday. Until next time, it has been your boy, mrjayowhy. Until next time, bye.